Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Verlenich or Brittany Roberts, depending on when you met me. So nice to meet you. By day, I am a content strategist, social media manager. By night, I'm a travel blogger. I'm very much involved in both worlds. And in this session, it's going to be more workshop style. I'm hoping to have you leave with some practical tips to help you make more reels. When I say reels, I'm talking Instagram specific, but if you zoom out, every single platform is going to video. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube has YouTube Shorts, which can lead to your longer videos if you're on YouTube. LinkedIn is now doing short form, like even professional LinkedIn. So this skill of having a short form video, I think, is really helpful for you, especially if you're already creating short form videos anyway. So I will just give another quick little like bio thing. So I've helped people build communities online since 2000. Well, I built my own since 2018. I've helped other people since 2020. Within about 3 or 4 months of helping other people, I was able to help them scale to having thousands of followers on Instagram. I helped one account actually grow from like 4 or 5,000 to 30 something thousand in a year. And so that's when I said, oh, okay, I got some skills here. So I'm going to go full time in this. So that's what I do now. And I love doing this for people, but I also love pushing sellers to create more themselves. I already know you like to create because I was listening to you guys talking and heard you all talking about being in Canva and having fun. Well, social media can be the same thing. Like it doesn't have to be the stressful, big, heavy thing. You can just go on there, have fun and talk to people and listen. Like that listening piece is really important, seeing what people want and need, and then creating things that match that. So I shared my doc a little over here, and then I'll show you how, whether that's looking at my phone or I might show my phone up to the camera. But what's more important is kind of understanding the strategy here. So for short form video, it's the exact opposite of what we learned about writing and presenting in school, right? We were taught as writers, give lots of information, put lots of detail. Oh, you need to write 1,000 more words. Online marketing is the exact opposite. You need to get right to the point. Nobody cares who you are until you've helped them, right? So it's like, you got to get right to it. That's why for my bio and introduction, I don't really care so much about that because I'd rather you just get right to it. So first, I want to say one big tip that you can do, like if we don't cover anything else, is to use the built-in effects for a couple of reasons. This is Instagram specific, but this is for any platform. Platforms are always A/B testing things. They always want to see what people like, because at the end of the day, they're really selling your attention, right? They're getting advertisers to come and spend money on the platform. They want you to be on there as long as possible. So they want for you to test out these features and they want for you to spend time on there, and they want for you to create quality content that's going to keep people on there so they can make money. That's kind of the cynical view. But I like to take the creative, fun view, which is if you learn how to use all these things and just play and experiment, you're going to make cooler stuff. So actually, I was just playing on there today. That's my job, is partially to play. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try a few different things. One of them was this slow effect, and hopefully I have my sound off when it does it. Okay, good, it's muted. So you see how it's kind of like slow, like it's not showing real time. So when you go onto your real screen, which hopefully I'll be able to show you in a second, there are these different things on the left-hand side, these different little options. And one of those is speed. So you can make it slower, you can make it faster. You might have even seen videos like this if you've been scrolling and wondered, like, how do they do that? So they're playing with the different effects on there. Let's see, and this is my Reels tab. So your Reels tab, you can actually see how many people have seen it. I just posted these a couple hours ago. This one already has 600 views. This is a trend. So trends, I have a love-hate relationship. Don't do a trend that feels like really icky and gross for you. For example, if you don't dance on like if you don't really dance in real life, don't dance on camera, right? That doesn't make sense. But there are some trends that make sense for who you are, right? For me, I know that when I get really raw on social media, when I get really honest, I guess you could say, like when I say, as a kid, say the quiet part out loud, like if I start saying like that, I usually get people really resonating with what I'm saying. And it makes sense because I'm saying kind of like what they're thinking, right? So one trend here that's coming around that I foresee is probably going to be popping up more if you're in the beginning of a trend, obviously that's better, is who radicalized you is the question. And they were using it as like a political statement, but I had a different interpretation. I said, oh, why am I doing this? Why am I talking about social media? Why do I care, right? So I asked myself that question. And then when I think about what it's done for me, I've seen it's done for other people, like TpT, I would say included in that. Like, I'll just play this for you with that preface. So this is really fast, but okay, so this first part I said, seeing teachers sob while leaving their babies at a daycare that costs them a whole paycheck. That's a really emotional, strong statement. So I'm saying that thing that I've observed is like one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this now, right? Is like, we're not just out here slanging our products, right? Like we're getting people to see that there's another possibility. So like for you, you might say to your person, because I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to sellers, you might tell your teachers like, who radicalized you could be like, all the teachers I see telling me that are crying because they want to be a better math teacher, but they don't understand it themselves. Like, how can I teach what I don't know? Right. So it's getting into the headspace of the person that you're talking to. So another strong statement here. Hearing teachers tell me they feel stuck and hopeless because they're crushing under a mountain of debt. I'm also in a B2B business to business audience. For you, might be saying something like, hearing teachers say their kids aren't engaged and they don't want to be at school, or hearing teachers say that they want to give up because their kids aren't getting results. So it's like getting into the head and heart of your person. And that is always going to be the most effective thing, whether it's a sales page, whether it's a product listing, whether it's social media copy, right? So there is a little bit of thought that goes into it, but I really do think playing is like the best thing. As far as the actual video, I just want you to look at what the actual video is. The video has nothing to do with the statements, right? It's me with my husband. He's literally wiping the snow off of a car. I mean, I thought the snow was kind of pretty, but it's not really that interesting, but it's an action. So what happens is when people see it, they're like, what's he doing, right? It's that visual curiosity. Oh, it's snowing. That's cool. And so there's enough going on that when someone scrolls past it, scrolls across it, they stop and they watch. So there's a couple things that you're doing. One, you're creating visual interest, which is one hook in itself. And then two, you're creating like an emotional investment, right? So like the text on there is something to hook them in and make them want to keep reading, and also that it's talking to them. So in this case, I'm talking to like teachers with side hustles and things. And this was 3 hours ago. And I'm not saying it's not going mega viral or anything, but 600 views in a few hours, pretty good. Like if I put like an email or something called to action, that would be people who are opting in for that and people messaging me. So I'm happy with that. And then this other one was just like a fun effect. And again, something I know that people are scared of is posting is like, and you can tell me, yes, if this is you too, that you're scared of like your friends or your family members seeing what you're posting. You're like, oh, that's so cringy, right? So if that's you, you can just say me. It's not you. It's not just you. Other people feel that too. And that feeling of also like, oh, what are they going to say about my business if they see that I'm on here posting? That's what I hear a lot from people I work with. That's one fear that holds them back, because that's something I'm speaking to. Okay, so that's a little bit of like the psychology and the marketing there. First thing I want to show you, I want everybody to go ahead. We'll just use Instagram for now because I think most people probably have that. So I want you to go ahead and I want you to go to Instagram, the Instagram app, and I want you to go to this little plus sign on the top. There's a little plus sign, and I want you to push that.
Mine's on the bottom.
Oh, is it? Okay. Do you have an Apple?
Mine too, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yours is an Android?
yeah. I know I'm one of the 5 people left that create with an Android, but there's a few of us here. Okay, so you're gonna find the plus or the reel screen, and then you're gonna go to create a reel. And first, I'm just gonna show you some features. If you have different features as an iPhone user, let me know. The first thing I want you to see is that when you go to create a reel, before we go select anything, because you're gonna have this gallery, but you're gonna have some things on top. And I want you to click on templates. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down so that's not annoying. But what's cool is you can actually just flip through here and you can find, oops, show my volume. You can find different templates, and I'm just gonna pick one random one just so I can show you. So I just picked the first one, and you see how it's gonna load something. And now on the bottom, so see there's the real template. Let me put my screen over here. There we go. You have a template there, and then bottom you have all these numbers, right? 3.4, 1.2. That's the length of the clip that you can put in there. So if you already have video clips, and by the way, did any of you happen to have like any product videography you've done, or recording any of your products? Have any of you done that yet, or just like played with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. The cool thing is you can take the clips that you have of your products and you can upload those in there. So I am going to go ahead and do this so go ahead and just use the first one. I'll give all of you a second to do that. And I want you to just go on your camera and just find some video clips. And for this, because we're demonstrating, it really doesn't matter if it looks ugly or weird at the end because you just don't have to post it. What we're really doing is practicing, right? So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to find, I don't really have that many video products myself on my phone. Mine's going to be a hot mess because I have like 60 different clients things on here, but you find your videos and put them on. And I'm just going to pick, actually, I'm going to pick, client work on here because that will look cooler. And once you select it, so see how I clicked on it and now it filled that first bubble. So you're going to go through and just select ones that show up. If they are grayed out or if they don't show up, it's probably because they're too long for that clip or they're too short. So I'm just going to select on some random ones. Okay, and then it says limit is 7 photos or videos. So I filled that up. And remember, this is a template, so it might look weird at the end. But I'm going to go ahead and click next on the bottom. And it says processing. And now it's going to show me the created video. So see how it's taken all those different clips and it placed them together. So when you're recording clips for Instagram or any kind of reels, you want to think of it almost like you're creating video previews in one way. Now, not everything you have to create has to be your product. So see how this is just regular, like, oh, this is a pan shot. I'm recording left to right. I also have a zoom shot where I've zoomed out or I zoom in. I have some fun ones that I've made where like I've dropped the papers so that they're all messy. And then I reverse the video so it looks like they're floating up to my hands. So it's enough for someone to go, whoa, what's that? And then it makes the person want to watch it because it's that visual interest of like, whoa, how'd she do that? That's cool. So anything like that is really helpful. But if you've never made videos before, I want you to just start with this, right? I want you to start with like learning how to use the app and learning the different tools. Okay, so if I had that and if I didn't do anything else to that and I went to next, I'm in a pretty good spot, right? I can do a couple of things to add to that though. So I have these buttons down here. Actually, let me know if you have an Apple, if you have an iPhone, where do they come up for you? Do they come on the bottom for you on the next screen? Okay, great. So you have a couple of options here now. This, let's start with these 3 circles. Those are where your filters are. Okay. And you have literally hundreds of thousands of filters. This could take you ages, but once you find a couple of good ones, you can use this little bookmark thing, that bookmark thing, and save them. And that way in the future, when you create reels or even when you go live, I have a secret, y'all. I use a teeth whitening filter because it's way cheaper than going and getting my teeth actually whitened. So I just use the Instagram filter and do that because I'm not going to go pay $600 to do that. So that's a little tip. And if you go to my little bookmark, you can see all these different filters that I've saved, right? I really like for products, if you are going to do a product preview, there's more than one kind of reel, and I'll show you different ones in a minute. But if you're doing one that's more like a video product style, if you choose the one called contrast, and there actually is a little search bar here to the left. I know it's not ideal with how I'm showing you, but if you look on the search bar and then you type in contrast, I really like that one. That's one that you can save. And then it just makes your black really black, your whites really white. And it's just that clean, crisp look that I feel like is very visually interesting, especially if you're doing black and white prints. So those are things that you kind of learn over time.
I'm sorry,
And
how did you get there?
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's the 3 little circles on the bottom.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you click on that, and then it's going to show you a bajillion different filters. And you can also play, there's a little menu at the top that you kind of slide through. Like if you click on aesthetics, there's like some like fun, weird ones where you'll see like flowers pop up or sparkles or something. Most of those you probably won't want to use, but that's going to be some time for you to play and figure out what you'd like to use. And then another thing to make it more professional, once you start using the same filters like 5 or 6 times, then your grid, the profile, like when someone lands on your profile, it starts to have a more professional look, right? Because it's like the same visual aesthetic every single time. So let me actually go down to, okay, this one had like 700 views on Facebook, and it had like comment after comment. And this one was using a few different things. So I recorded everything, and then I put like, I did a high speed. So see how it's like super fast. it wasn't really that fast in person, right? It was like normal speed, but then I went through and sped up the footage. So it's like visually like, oh, what's happening, right? There's like lots of stuff. And then a cut is like an editing thing when you see like I'm panning left to right, and then all of a sudden I'm panning up, down. That's called a cut. So that's a way of like, I'm adding more clips in. So just like how you put all those different clips in, you were selecting different ones. You were just doing that. You were selecting different cuts of clips. So you're doing a little bit of video editing too. Oh yeah, okay. Let me actually share my screen again and show you an example. This one I would say is a little more advanced because I thought about it before, but it is something you can do. So actually on my document here that I gave you, let me zoom out for a second. I did like, oh yeah, here we go, like a classroom setup time lapse. This is really great if you're still in the classroom, but even if you're not, if you have an office, you could like record yourself setting something up. So just like prop your phone up against something, start recording, doesn't have to be fancy. And even if it takes like 3 hours, honestly, the more time, the better. This could be decorating a bulletin board. This could be getting your classroom ready for the day. And so it's not like your face, but your body will still be in there. So I know it's still a little scary, but you record yourself doing something to where it's visually interesting, and then you speed it up, and I'll show you how to do the effects if I have time. It's already 5:52, so I'm like, so I'll show you how to do effects if you have time, but then you speed that up and it's like, oh, cool. You've probably seen these videos, actually have you, where it's like someone's cleaning or organizing a house and you're like fascinated, right? You're like, oh my gosh, like it looks so good at the end because it's all clean, and you're like, it's like a satisfying feeling, right? It's the same thing. You're like, you're doing a before and after transformation. So it could either be directly related to what you're selling, like if you're doing bulletin board decorations, it's that, or it could just be like, I'm a teacher too, and this is kind of like building a relationship with a person to show like I'm still in the classroom, or if you're not in the classroom, that you have some expertise with that. Let me show you an example of one I did that's kind of like a, I don't even know what you call this. I guess you'd call this like a day in the life. Yeah, okay. So this is a day in the life. This is very, very popular in the teacher world. It actually used to be even more popular like with YouTube. You've probably even watched day in the life videos. I know before I became a teacher, I was very interested in seeing like, what am I getting myself into? What is this like? So this is me. This is more for you. You're the audience of this one, but it says what I buy and how I prepare for real batching fall and Halloween edition, right? So this was me. I knew I was going to Dollar Tree that day. So by the way, this doesn't have to be super glamorous, right? Like I actually used to do a lot more content showing my travels and stuff, but then I realized this is something you might do too. I'm like, oh, that's actually not super relatable because not everybody can do that. And that's not really like, most of my audience is probably, they're either teachers still, or they haven't been to where they are exactly where they want to be a TPT yet. So I'm going to focus more on showing that stuff, right? So those are other decisions you'll make as you're creating things. Okay, so this is a day in the life, I guess you could say, but I have a voiceover and I'll show you that in a second. But first I want to show you what I did visually. So see how I went from face to camera, then I went to outward, right? And I'm showing the different things I got from there. So I wouldn't even say this is super creative because I was just literally narrating what I'm doing. And oh, I don't know if you caught that at the end. I think you watched it again. At the end, it says like I think my total was like maybe $20, or I don't remember exactly what it was. We'll see in a minute. But I remember being like, oh wow, I just got a lot of stuff for not a lot of money. And I thought, okay, that would be good for a seller. Oh yeah, $11. So I was like, that would be good for a seller to know that they can like go and get like really cheap Halloween decorations and stuff they're probably getting anyway for their classroom. And you can use that to record reels, right? So okay, now I'll wait until this is over and then I'll play the sound so you can see what I did, just so you can kind of get the strategy there. And here we go. Come shopping at Dollar Tree with me. Right now, I'm picking up some things for my clients' reels in a batching session that I'm setting up. I want to find things that really speak to the season. We're in fall and Halloween right now, so that's what I'm finding. I look for small things that I can put on the flat lays and videos for more visual interest. If you're looking to do more reels and you need some ideas for content creation, follow me because I always find cheap budget ways to do it. I'll also say I've been doing this for so long and it's still like really cringy for me to hear my own voice and show you my videos. Like that is so embarrassing to me. But I hope that this is helpful for you at least to see like what I'm looking at, right? So for you, this could be recording you going throughout your day, like making your products, right? Like actually that's super interesting to teachers when you're showing like you're doing something and like, oh, how did you do that? I guarantee you, you're not going to lose a customer. Like if you show them a cool thing you learned in Canva, Kim, I'm sure other teachers would like to see that, right? Like I just learned how to do this today. And then you like show them on the camera, like, this is what I did. It doesn't have to be super fancy. This tripod that I got, which is like basically just like 3 sticks with a holder. This has a phone holder on it and this has a light. This was, I want to say like maybe $20 on Amazon. And so this swivels around. So what I'll do sometimes is when I'm recording like stuff for clients, for example, I'll prop this up. It doesn't look pretty, but I prop this up and make it so that the light goes down so that when I'm recording like a flat lay or something, which y'all can do, it looks good. And there's so much you can do editing wise to make it more fun. You can do stop motion. You can do, like I said, like little fun things like reversing the clips. You just kind of learn these things over time. And yeah, okay, so let's do, I'm trying to think of what else I could do. So voiceover. Let me show you how to do that real quick with my phone. Okay, so let's now use, we're going to do that same reel, right? Say this was my product and I wanted to tell a story. I'm a big fan of telling the story either of your product or of what you're trying to do, right? So this specific product, let me actually look at, I don't even know what I picked. So let me see. Okay, so this is a Halloween around the world. Okay, cool. So I might want to tell the story of my first Halloween or like what my first Halloween in the classroom was like, something like that, if it was a Halloween resource. And I might want to start with something that's going to catch their attention. So voiceover wise, I'm going to say something like, Halloween isn't celebrated the same way around the world, which might make someone say, what? Or like, Halloween is not an American holiday. I'm going to say something that's kind of counter to what I think the person thinks about Halloween, because I want them to stop. I want them to stop scrolling and watch mine. And then I'm going to tell a story about like how I found that out or something related to my resource. I know a lot of you are in winter right now, so you might do Christmas around the world. But yeah, telling a story. Oh, actually, I have a good example of this with a resource, if I can find it. This was actually on my TikTok a long time ago, but let's see if I can find it. And then I know we're already, okay, yeah, I know we're running long, so sorry about that. Sorry for having you go, but I want you to make something. I actually really want you to make another one, but I don't know if we're gonna have time for that. But your face to camera, sorry, back up. Voiceover, let me do that before I show you this. Okay, voiceover is really easy. So on the bottom, you know how you have like all these buttons, right? There's this little microphone. I don't know if you can see it. You can see it on your phone probably. When you click on that, you're going to see a circle that says voiceover. When you hold it, it's going to start recording and you're going to see the video play as you're recording. So this usually takes a little bit of practice because you have to be, you notice in that video, I was talking so fast, right? It's because I only knew I had so many seconds. I was like, okay, I have to go. And it did take me a few times. But if you know what you're going to be saying in advance, I do think it's good if you can write it out or just keep it really simple, right? It can be just like what you're maybe even feeling, something you feel like teachers need to hear. So let me actually, this is 29 seconds. I don't know if I'll do all 29, but let's just see what I want to say here. Okay. Many people think that Halloween is a holiday that's only celebrated in the United States, but that's not true. Halloween in some shape or form is actually celebrated all over the world, though it looks a little bit different in some places. In this resource, I actually show students how they can celebrate Halloween with all these different cultures in mind. And the best part is there are even little fun things that kids can color afterwards. If you want this resource, just comment with a little ghost emoji below and I'll send it right over to you. Okay, that was first shot, 26 seconds. This is how it looks and sounds. It's going to be a little weird because it's the phone, but let's see if you can hear it. Many people think that Halloween is a holiday that's only celebrated in the United States, but that's not true. Halloween in some shape or form is actually celebrated all over the world. And that's all I can take of hearing my own voice. But it has the template already of the sound because remember I use a template. So I probably wouldn't have used that one for Halloween because it's kind of like the soft, you know, like classical music. That's more of like if I was showing like home life or baking or something, like something slower. So there are some tricks too to selecting music. I will say for trend, because someone asked about trending audio too. I think trending audio can be cool, but what I think is more important is well, for one, you just learning how to play with the resource with all the features, because that takes the longest time as a learning. And it's like you're battling that and also the fear of posting, right? So if you can get over the fear of posting and not being used to posting, you're going to be in a much better place. And then you can start doing the complicated things like doing, more trends and audio and things. So I want you to just get used to that first. When you make reels, another thing I want to show you. Let's see. Okay, so when you go to that plus and then reel, so we clicked templates the first time, right? If you want to record either face to camera or you want to record like what's going on in your desk, you would click the little camera. And I don't know if it's going to be in the same place for you, but you're going to look for the little camera and you're going to see all these other little features on the left-hand side. So see how you have those 3 stars from earlier? That's how you get to the filters again. You also have the little music sign, the 8th notes. So you can click on that if you want to choose sound. You have the green screen. This one's kind of cool if you want to show something behind you. Let me actually show you what that looks like for a second. So this one's kind of fun. So see, like I chose a scene that they have, and then like if I want to record, well, I can't really show you that part, but I can record myself in front of it, or I can record myself in front of a resource. So I would just encourage you and challenge you to like go in there and play and just see what you can make like 3 times this week. It's no homework. No one's going to give any marks if you don't do it, but I think it'll be less scary once you play in there. And this is okay. So talking about trends, this is a kind of a fun one.
Quickly, to start off, why? Okay. Secondly is how come? And finally,
That's
how
like
dare
the lip
you?
syncing. So you could do lip syncing ones, like if you find sound that kind of works with like what your topic is. That's a face to camera one, but it doesn't have to be your voice. Oh, let me share this one thing for you. So obviously you can learn more on my Instagram account. I'm always sharing real ideas there. I also have a podcast and a YouTube channel. So that's another resource too that I'll just share with you in case you want to watch walkthroughs of this thing. Well, podcast for listening, but watch or listen to walkthroughs. So there's more resources for you.